normally do. Y'all with me? And it was good for us to tell you the truth, because when I stepped back in the head biggest game and I haven't been there, it brought back so much memory.
Y'all don't even know Calvin for CCO. I know Calvin, you know what I mean?
Things are moving toward the possibility of overturning the majority draw between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., but this situation has also created an unexpected rift between Tank and his coach, Calvin Ford, especially after what went down in his corner during the fight. Tank's performance against Roach was chaotic, and the result perfectly mirrored that. Now, with Calvin Ford's departure making headlines, the WBA lightweight champion has finally responded.
First started off, and him saying all this working together, he was happy. And at the end of the day, what it's about.
Interestingly, Coach Calvin Ford's reaction came shortly after an announcement from Lamont Roach's team and the New York State Athletic Commission regarding a potential overturn of the fight's result. Dan Raphael of Fight Freaks Unite reported on Tuesday that Roach Jr.'s lawyer, Greg Smith, sent a 4-page letter to the New York State Athletic Commission's executive director, urging the commission to change the majority draw into a decision win for Roach Jr. On Monday, the commission released a statement addressing the controversy, stating that it was reviewing referee Steve Willis's call in the 9th round. They also cited technical difficulties as the reason they were unable to review the call at the time.
Slow down, I'm worrying about you because, boom, he knows that I spend time with my amateurs. You know me. Both of y'all know me very well.
Yeah.
Don't I spend time with my amateurs?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. That's my peace. And he knows.
Davis took a knee after Roach Jr. landed a punch, then went to his corner to have his face wiped. Willis started counting as if he might rule it a knockdown, but ultimately let the fight continue. The New York State Athletic Commission is now reviewing the incident from Saturday's fight between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis. In response, the commission stated that during the round in question, they requested a replay, but a technical issue stopped them from receiving it in time. Because of this, they had to rely on the referee's in-ring decision, allowing the fight to continue.
I don't know, did y'all see me in the ring tell him to keep counting? he started counting. I was like, why you stop? Like, keep counting. But
the commission remains committed to upholding the integrity of combat sports and is working closely with promoters and production teams to prevent future technical issues. Their goal is to ensure ringside instant replay feeds are always available for officials when needed. Lamont Roach Jr., the WBA junior lightweight champion, faced Gervonta Davis for his WBA lightweight title on Saturday at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. If Willis had ruled Davis's knee as a knockdown and the judges scored the round 10-8 for Roach Jr., he would have won by unanimous decision. Eric Malinsky scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman had it 114-114, resulting in a draw.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. But I can't go back and change it, so.
Lamont,
Feldman and Malinsky scored the 9th round for Davis, while Weisfeld gave it to Roach Jr. Protests in boxing rarely lead to overturned results. But if there were ever a case for that to change, this might be it. This controversy has also raised major questions about the relationship between Tank and Calvin Ford. Just 6 weeks before the fight, Davis made it clear, saying, "I got Calvin tattooed on me. Calvin ain't going nowhere. Calvin is Pops. He ain't going anywhere." But when fight night came, Ford was not in Tank's corner. The 30-year-old may have paid the price, as this was the first time in his career he walked away without a victory.
What was that? Because it was something that we didn't do. It's something that we normally do. Y'all with me? And it was good for us to tell you.
While Tank expected Ford to be in his corner on March 1st, the veteran coach had his own reasons for stepping away from this fight. Now, with the possibility of his draw against Roach being overturned to a loss, Calvin Ford has officially left the team. For years, fans were used to seeing the familiar duo of Ford and Kenny Ellis, a partnership as iconic as Tyson and Cus D'Amato, or more recently, Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, even Pacquiao and Freddie Roach. That's how strong the bond between Davis, Ford, and Ellis was in the eyes of fans. But instead of that familiar team, seeing Barry Hunter in Tank's corner wasn't the sight many wanted to witness.
With Calvin, because it's the first time we shot the head trainer in a while.
Yeah, for sure. Calvin, Again, I said, Calvin.
Many are wondering what led to this situation. Speaking with Fight Hub TV, Calvin Ford offered some insight. Davis headlined his second PBC Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view event, with the Barclays Center hosting a stacked card featuring exciting fights, including 2 light welterweight title clashes. Like many, Ford was eager to see how Davis's training would translate in the ring. With Tank hailing from Baltimore and Roach from DC, Ford recalled their history of sparring together and respected Roach's dedication. He saw this fight as a great opportunity for both. Addressing the speculation, Ford clarified, "Maybe people are misreading the situation. We ain't changing up anything." He explained that he simply took a step back, but the training structure remained intact. The reporter also emphasized that there was no suggestion of a breakup or falling out between Ford and Davis.
He will always be around. You know what I mean? So, that's pop, like I said. So
They simply wanted to know if the temporary separation had strengthened their bond, like when family members spend time apart and then value each other more when they reunite. Coach Ford responded, "No, he came to see me, dead slowed down and worrying about you because, boom, he knows I spend time with my amateurs. You both know me very well. I always spend time with my amateurs. That's my piece." Even though Ford wasn't directly training Tank, just knowing where he was and that he was putting in the work gave him reassurance. He admitted that stepping away helped both of them appreciate their connection. When Davis returned to the gym, Ford could see that the lightweight champion had missed him, just like he had missed Davis. Barry Hunter also provided a similar sense of reassurance during this time.
yeah, it's without me, without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me. You know what I mean? Because at first, when I came into the
Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well, Hunter said in an interview. While Ford and Ellis won't be in Tank's corner, the coaching team remains intact, suggesting it's not a major issue. Hunter reminded everyone that this isn't the first time changes have happened in Tank's corner. Having worked with Davis since his amateur days and early career, he isn't new to the team. Like Ford, he pointed out how the internet often spreads misinformation, with people making assumptions without knowing the full story. He emphasized that Tank is like family, reassuring fans that this seems to be just a temporary shakeup. There's a good chance things will return to normal when Davis is back after a few months.
at DC, they call me Mo. Calvin is Calvin. You know what I mean?
Gervonta "Tank" Davis's habit of starting slow almost cost him on Saturday night. His WBA lightweight title defense against Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a majority draw, leaving the sold-out crowd of 19,250 at Barclays Center in Brooklyn stunned. While Davis held on to his belt, it was a fight he'd likely rather put behind him as soon as possible. Two judges scored the fight 114-114, while the third had it 115-113 in favor of Davis. ESPN also scored the bout as a 114-114 draw.
On live, but I went back and I watched it, and shit, Tank lost that fight, period. And that's even without the knockdown, he lost.
Lamont is a great fighter, Davis said after the fight. He's got skills, like I said before, and he's got punching power. It was a lesson. Hopefully, we can run it back. One of the most puzzling moments of the fight came in the 9th round when Davis unexpectedly took a knee after a jab from Roach. Referee Steve Willis chose not to rule it a knockdown. Davis later explained that grease from his hair got into his eye, causing him to drop to a knee. The fight continued without any penalty, but had the knockdown been counted, it could have shifted the fight in Roach's favor.
The fight, yeah, just didn't do enough work. I thought that Roach's game plan was.
If the knockdown had been called, Roach could have won the 9th round with a 10-8 score. Instead, two judges scored it 10-9 in favor of Davis. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in it," Davis explained. "When I was sweating, it got in my eyes and burned." Roach didn't dispute Davis's reasoning, but firmly stated that the rules are the rules. If you take a knee and the ref starts counting, it should be a knockdown, Roach said. "If that's a knockdown, I win the fight. I'm not relying on just that moment to win. I truly felt I did enough." Davis entered the fight as a heavy favorite, with many expecting him to secure his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. Backed by a pro-Davis crowd, Tank couldn't deliver the highlight reel finish fans have come to expect from him. Instead, Roach held his ground, absorbed Davis's power shots, and fired back with punches that stunned both Davis and the crowd. Known for his patience, Davis started slow, waiting for Roach to make a mistake he could exploit in the later rounds.
Start there too. I feel like Lamont definitely won. All right, G. I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw, like, it is what it is type shit, you know? I ain't hating on the decision.
But Roach never gave Davis the opening he was looking for and kept pressing the action. Early on, Davis smiled and exchanged words with Roach, but as the fight progressed, he had to get serious when he realized his opponent wasn't going to crumble under the pressure. Roach, 29, had previously faced Davis in the amateurs but came up short. This time, he was determined to prove he belonged in the ring with the lightweight champion. Their careers took different paths after turning pro. Davis became one of boxing's biggest stars, while Roach built a solid reputation but fell short in his only previous world title shot, a loss to Jamal Herring for the WBO super featherweight belt in 2019. Davis's rise to superstardom was cemented by his knockout victory over Ryan Garcia in 2023, a win that solidified his claim as the face of boxing. But against Roach, he nearly let that title slip away with an underwhelming performance. Their past encounters may have given Davis a false sense of security, but Roach came prepared for everything, especially Tank's famous fight-ending power. By the middle rounds, Davis's smile had faded as he realized the knockout he anticipated wouldn't come easily. The champion started throwing more punches to create openings, but Roach stood his ground and fired back with counters and combinations. Davis focused almost entirely on body shots, hammering away as Roach pressed forward without hesitation. Whenever Davis slowed his assault, Roach found openings to land sharp counters. In the 8th round, Roach stunned Davis with a counter right hand. While Davis was never in serious trouble, the shot was a clear reminder that he couldn't afford to fight recklessly. "I felt like I was breaking him down as the rounds went on, but he kept coming, so I didn't want to make any mistakes," Davis said. "I kept it cautious."
It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did, for real. Both of them really did put in a fantastic performance. It was a great fight, you know? All that good stuff. You know?
Realizing the fight might be slipping away, the 30-year-old Davis pushed the pace in the championship rounds. Though he landed some powerful shots, he never came close to seriously hurting Roach. However, his increased activity was enough to win him the final 2 rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards, allowing him to escape with a draw and retain his title. Davis landed 103 of 279 punches in what was a calculated performance, while Roach was the busier fighter, connecting on 112 of 400 punches.
He just did. We got off the canvas once. It ain't about the dub with me. It's about you got that.
"I'm just a little disappointed in the decision," Roach said. "I thought I pulled it out, but that's what happens when 2 skilled fighters go at it. I definitely thought I won, but we could run it back. Even though I didn't get the official win tonight, in my book, I did. But we're not satisfied with that. We need a real W." Recently, news broke that Gervonta Davis and longtime trainer Calvin Ford had parted ways after more than a decade together. Ford has since confirmed the split, citing several external factors that contributed to the decision. Whether it stemmed from issues in training camp or an unwillingness to discuss the situation, Davis had remained silent on the matter until now.
Yeah, he already seen it.
He said, I can't
That's
get
the
hit
difference.
in
And Tank was holding the conversation. Tank said, yo, I'm about Tank can't every fight Tank come tell me, I'm gonna knock him out.
In breaking his silence, Davis shifted the narrative slightly. It was no longer just about Calvin Ford's absence. It now involved Leonard Ellerby. Ever since Ellerby left Mayweather Promotions, he no longer had to remain neutral between Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Following his departure, he directed all his attention toward Davis. While Ellerby's involvement may seem beneficial, Ford reportedly believes many of Davis's recent poor decisions can be traced back to Ellerby's influence. This growing tension appears to have played a significant role in the changes within Davis's camp.
When I talk to him, I'm not talking to little Tank anymore. I'm talking to the grown man Tank. For being with him for so many years, it's amazing.
Calvin Ford hasn't been entirely comfortable with Leonard Ellerby's relentless presence in Davis's camp. Previously, the trio of Davis, Ford, and Kenny Ellis formed an unbreakable unit, even under the Mayweather Promotions banner. Their bond was so strong that even Floyd Mayweather Jr. had to respect their unity. However, ever since they parted ways with Mayweather Promotions and Ellerby became more involved, tensions have emerged. The once solid relationship between Davis and Ford now appears to be under threat, raising questions about the long-term stability of Davis's team. Furthermore, Gervonta Davis's team believes he has been making poor career choices under Leonard Ellerby's influence. According to Davis, his entire camp is against his close association with Ellerby, seeing him as someone who aligns with whoever benefits him the most. They argue that Ellerby was loyal to Floyd Mayweather while he profited from Mayweather's fighters, but once that dynamic shifted, he turned his attention to Davis. This belief created a rift within Davis's camp, as everyone except him saw Ellerby's involvement as a problem. Ultimately, this tension led Davis to make a drastic decision, parting ways with his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford.
Then it's a big fight.
Right.
And Tank's gonna get every last one of these guys y'all want him to get. You just can't get them all in one night.
Did you see what he tweeted at Shakur?
No, I did.
Ellerby played a key role in the growth of Mayweather Promotions, helping to orchestrate massive events like Mayweather vs. Pacquiao. He also played a significant role in turning Gervonta Davis into a pay-per-view star, promoting some of his biggest fights, including his recent bout against Frank Martin. Since parting ways with Mayweather Promotions in 2022, Davis has faced top-tier opponents like Rolando Romero, Hector Luis Garcia, Ryan Garcia, and Frank Martin, proving his ability to navigate the sport independently. Some, including boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult, believe leaving Mayweather was the best move for his career. However, tensions between Davis and his former mentor have continued to escalate, with both exchanging jabs on social media in recent months. The ongoing feud suggests that their split wasn't just a business decision, it was personal. After Davis's recent fight against Frank Martin and Leonard Ellerby's exit from Mayweather Promotions, a popular boxing commentator on YouTube explained why leaving Mayweather was the best decision for Davis. In a short clip titled, "Tank Davis Leaving Floyd Was the Best Thing for His Career," the commentator argued that while Mayweather is one of the biggest names in the sport, his mindset is centered around money. The suggestion is that Davis needed to step away to carve out his own path. Interestingly, Calvin Ford had unknowingly foreshadowed this situation before Davis's fight against Frank Martin. When Davis was absent from the media workout, Ford spoke on his behalf, making statements that have since come back to reflect the ongoing tension between them. Now, as their relationship plays out publicly, the past words of Ford are proving to be more significant than initially realized.
Oh, watching them in camp, it scares me. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that he's doing and his maturity of,
Now we understand why Calvin Ford previously said, "Watching him in camp scares me because of the things he's doing and his maturity. When he gets in that ring, he'll hurt Frank Martin." Ford had noticed Davis's intense focus, stating that he listens carefully to conversations and stays locked in. Speaking to Fight Hype, Ford later urged people not to read too much into the current situation. However, with all the changes in Davis's camp and the ongoing drama surrounding his team, it's clear that tensions have been building for some time.
A press conference. Let's look at history. Let's look at stats.
For sure.
So, again, but how many times y'all came here, y'all? He did. One time he did showed up.
I want to apologize to the fans, Ford said, dampening the excitement that had been building for over 90 minutes since the scheduled arrival. He can't make it at this moment because he's been delayed, but he's going to make it up to y'all on fight night. Trust what I'm saying. Y'all want to see the performance he's going to put on. Addressing the crowd, Ford continued, "How long y'all been knowing Tank, man? I used to do the same thing y'all do. I stopped doing it. Let him just do what he does, because at the end of the day, that's what makes Tank. I don't know how his body is, Sometimes y'all got to go to work. Do y'all feel like it all the time? We're getting ready to roll out to the world." When asked if Davis would attend the press conference, Ford remained optimistic.
And for the fans, who do the conspiracy theory, there's no concerns,
No, we great.
Yep.
We great. Trust me. Y'all want y'all guy to come out, put on that show for y'all. Trust.
I've never seen Tank miss a press conference. Let's look at history. Let's look at the stats, Ford stated, emphasizing Davis's usual commitment to fight promotion. Finally, Ford issued a warning to Frank Martin on behalf of his absent fighter, saying, "We're back in business. We've been waiting for this for a while." Speaking about Davis's return to the ring after 14 months, Ford added, "We want to put on a great performance. We want to put on a great performance for the fans at the end of the day." Truly, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been making waves, and it's not just Calvin Ford who's taken notice. Even Floyd Mayweather and Devin Haney have felt the impact of his presence in the boxing world. That's all for now. Stay tuned for the very best updates on the latest boxing news and moments.